Ciao a tutti!
Sono Nicole with Piatto Recipes, and today we'll be making Polpette al Tonno. That's right, in Italy, meat are only one kind of ball that you find on Italian plates. This recipe for tuna polpette includes classic Italian ingredients. Made with canned tuna, this recipe is fast, economical, and delicious. Let's go! We start with 1 whole onion. You can also use 2 shallots. And we just want to mince the onion or shallot. This will form the base of our sofrito. In addition to the onion, you'll need a handful or 2 of fresh Italian herbs. Here I'm using fresh basil, but parsley will work as well. And I'm going to mince this as well. In total, I'll need about 2 tablespoons. You'll only dirty 1 dish for this recipe, a medium-sized pot, to which I'm adding a few tablespoons of olive oil. In goes the onion. A pinch of chili pepper if you like spice. And I'm also adding the equivalent of 4 anchovy fillets. This will give our mix a boost of umami. About half of the minced basil. Some concentrated tomato paste, and some fine balsamic vinegar. Here I'm using balsamic vinegar from Modena, which is particularly renowned for its sweet flavor. Finally, we need some water. In essence, we're creating a broth to cook our secret ingredient, bulgur. In this recipe, I'm going to use bulgur in place of the usual suspects, breadcrumbs, potato, even ricotta, because bulgur adds taste, texture, and nutrition to these tuna patties. In essence, it adds a ground meat texture. Add salt to taste. And to further emphasize that ground meat texture, I'm taking an immersion blender to give the bulgur a more irregular texture. Like many of you, we have many family members that just don't like seafood. But even these family members will usually eat canned tuna with pleasure, as long as it's prepared correctly. So canned tuna is a delicious, economic way to get those important seafood nutrients. Here I'm using 2 large cans of tuna, or about 300 grams. We give it a mix, and taste for salt and acidity one more time, before adding the egg. As I mentioned earlier, tuna polpette are only one kind of patty or ball popular in Italy. You'll also find eggplant, zucchini, egg and cheese, even spinach and ricotta. Rather than being the exception, polpette without meat are actually very common in Italy, with each region having its special variations. Here I'm adding a bit more salt and another half a tablespoon of balsamic vinegar, before adding my binder, 1 whole egg. This mix is the perfect consistency, but if you find that your tuna mix is a bit on the runny side, feel free to add some dry breadcrumbs until you've created a moldable texture. I'm making each ball about 30 grams. You can shape the tuna mix into slightly flattened tuna patties, round balls, and then bake the balls or simmer them slowly in a sauce, or use the same mix for mini burgers or full-size burgers. Today I'm going to show a combination of both. To make burgers at home, I like to use a round cookie cutter, about the diameter of whatever bun I plan to use. I like to enjoy burgers like an American, in a bun with lots of toppings. But fun fact, most Italians actually eat burgers as is, without bread, on a plate with a pinch of salt. Despite having plenty of McDonald's and Burger Kings in Italy, eating burgers in a bun just really hasn't caught on. Done! Now you can transfer these balls or burgers directly to the freezer, they freeze wonderfully, or fry them up in a skillet, as I'm doing here today. Of course, if you love your balls breaded and fried, feel free to do that. Today, I'm keeping it simple. A bit of oil and a nonstick pan. I'm cooking these over medium-low heat, covered, for a couple minutes per side. Flipping the patties when the side touching the pan are golden brown. Bellissime! As I mentioned before, you can also simmer your tuna balls in a sauce. However, it may surprise you to learn that actually saucy meatballs or saucy balls are not very common in Italy. Mostly Italians enjoy their balls as is, with a pinch of salt. There are some local exceptions to this rule, notably a famous recipe from Abruzzo featuring tiny meatballs, which are simmered in a flavorful tomato sauce, and we'll be showing that recipe in an upcoming video. The tradition of simmering large meatballs in tomato sauce and serving them over a plate of pasta appears to be an Italian-American evolution of Italian cuisine. I'm serving these like we do in Italy, with a pinch of salt. Here I'm actually using caper-infused salt, which was a byproduct of the delicious capers that I preserved at home this season. And because I love capers with tuna, I've also created a simple aioli sauce with mayonnaise and capri, on top of some homegrown lettuce. Shall we have a look inside? Belle! And if you like this video or learned something new, let YouTube know by giving us a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the Piatto Recipes channel for more recipes like this from Italy and beyond.